So let's move directly into the awards portion of the program. WAVE is enormously pleased that we were able to launch our new Founders Award for Village Excellence. We wanted to promote and spotlight great village programs or services that are outstanding examples of villages' contributions to the well-being of older adults in their communities, and that could inspire other villages and help drive the village movement forward regionally and maybe even nationally. A bit of history first. Many of you knew and appreciated Miriam Kelty. Her death last year prompted the WAVE board to create a new award program to recognize all three WAVE founders. We had Virginia Hodgkinson, who was with At Home Alexandria in Virginia. We had Miriam Kelty, who was with founder of Bannockburn Village in Maryland, and Andy Mollison, who was a founder of Palisades Village in DC. And unfortunately, Miriam and Andy have passed away. Now, the award criteria specified that nominated projects must reflect the founders' values of inclusivity, collaboration, creative problem solving, and positive impact on villages, their communities, and the larger village movement. Interestingly, WAVE's formal creation was in 2012, so this is our official 10th anniversary. Is Virginia Hodgkinson on? Virginia, are you there? Can somebody tell me if Virginia's on?
She is.
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Okay.
You muted
Well,
me, so I can't say anything.
now we can hear you. Well, welcome. Well, we're very happy to have Virginia with us today because she's going to tell us a little bit more about WAVE's actual creation and the work that went into getting us to where we are. Virginia, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. This is a lovely day, and congratulations to the winners. I think which you will be hearing soon, that these awards are very inspirational. Some of us were founding villages before the concept of a village became very well known. Andy Mollison and I were colleagues, and Andy's wife and I were colleagues over 20 years. And we used to meet socially. And we talked about the village. I was already in the founding period of Mount Vernon at Home. And Andy wanted to start the Palisades, which he did so fast. He opened fully before we opened Mount Vernon at Home. And we just sat there and dreamed sometimes over coffee, over a glass of wine. What would this look like? This was such an exciting idea. So as soon as a few villages opened and AARP hosted Beacon Hill, who were trying to set up some kind of national meeting, several people who were trying to found villages found Andy and me, and our phones were running off the hook. And so we said, maybe we ought to try to just do a local group, get them together and see what happens. So we knew of 11 who were in contact with us. Well, we were 2 of them, so that would have been 9 others. And we held the meeting at AARP first, and then at a law office. And by then, you know, the villages, people were interested, is doubling and tripling. And so we really found it was useful having this kind of meeting ground where we could share our experiences. After all, we were in a very, very new area. There weren't a whole lot of village experiences. We did have Capitol Hill Village and Palisades, but we didn't have many villages. And soon we had Mount Vernon at Home, which was a suburban village. So we started these meetings, and we, you know, local area organizations would host us and put on the breakfast for us and the breaks. And we became so large over a few years that first of all, we went and we got Virginia State charter for WAVE. And then Andy and I, by then we had met Miriam, but we let Miriam do a few other things. Andy and I put together the request for 501c3 designation, built that up, got it sent to government. And it's 10 years. That's really terrific. I didn't realize it was quite so long. While I was still chair at Mount Vernon at home, I was, reporting each year to the state, which we had to, and to the feds, but I haven't kept up with it for a while. So when we went to national meetings, a few national meetings, it became clear that our region was through WAVE was the largest regional group. And I'm thinking we still maintain that. Barbara Sullivan would know better than I would, but it's so rich because we're close to the phones. We can even get to each other by metro and have a coffee if we need to have a discussion about our programs. And we're able to get together every quarter. And so we make professional and other friendships. And this is what really builds and holds a community together. So congratulations, everyone. I'm so pleased that the awards are being announced and given today. And I really wish you all well for the future.
Well, thank you very much, Virginia, for that background. I think it sounds like something each individual can relate to, how you actually get something off the ground. So we really appreciate that. And I want everyone to know that Virginia gave a generous gift to WAVE that enables us to award cash prizes to the winners. So thank you, Virginia, from all of us. We're all very grateful. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So one award is given to a village with an annual operating budget of under $25,000, and one award goes to a village with an annual operating budget of $25,000 or more. And each award comes with a $1,000 prize, thanks to Virginia, and opportunities to share lessons learned with other villages and organizations serving older adults. And we've created a new graphic icon that can be placed on the winners' homepages, showing that they are the 2022 winners. We got 8 nominations, 4 in each of those 2 categories, and we named a panel of 5 outside judges. There were no WAVE board members as part of the judging panel. Lynn Addington, who's a professor of American University, was one, and she recently completed a survey of WAVE villages during COVID, and many of you will remember that she presented at the January meeting. Kathy Cameron of the National Council on Aging, she is the senior director of the NCOA Center for Healthy Living. Dick Elkin was founding director of Nauset Neighbors, an all-volunteer village in Massachusetts, who had recently completed a term on the Village to Village Network board. Steve Gurney, who many of you may know as the founder publisher of the Positive Aging Sourcebook and author of the Pro Aging podcast. And finally, Hillary Simmons, executive director of A Little Help in Colorado, which is a multi-county village, and she's a member of B2B's board and its impact project. Well, the judges were unanimous in the selections of the 2 winners. Now, they're each going to give short descriptions of their projects. I don't think we'll have time for any, maybe no Q&A today, but you can put questions into the chat for them to answer. And they will be coming back to speak at our July 18th meeting in greater detail about their important lessons learned. So be sure and join us there. And now, drum roll, please. Come on. Oh, no, come on. My screen has frozen just as I'm about to put up this. Oh, hold on. There we go. So the winner for villages with an operating budget of under $25,000 is Hyattsville Aging in Place, called HAP, in Hyattsville, Maryland, for its project on Route 1 food security. It is my great pleasure to call on Chris Ullenbach, who is the chair of their board, to please introduce other project members who may be on the Zoom with us today, and then tell us a little bit about your wonderful project. Chris, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Mary Jo, and everyone at WAVE. I'm really honored to accept this award on behalf of the board of Hyattsville Aging in Place. Other board members who are here, Denise Snyder, who's on the WAVE board, but was not involved in the decision, is also on our HAP board. And I think she may be the only, is Cheryl Mallow on? Okay. No,
She emailed me to ask for the link, so I hope she.
Okay, well, maybe she'll join us later, but we have a board of 9, and Denise and I are representing all of us today. And I'm happy to tell you a little bit more about our project. In 2021, HAP received a grant from the Greater Washington Community Foundation to help seniors who are faced with food insecurity in Hyattsville and in the Route 1 corridor of Prince George's County. As an all-volunteer organization with one very part-time paid consultant, we realized that the best way to carry out the work under this project was to partner with existing organizations to support and supplement programs that were already in place that could purchase and prepare and deliver food to seniors in this area. So for example, we worked with a community organization called the Central Kenilworth Area Redevelopment, CDC. And through them, we were able to pay for local restaurants to prepare and deliver meals to apartment buildings that were housing seniors and immigrants in our area. And in that way, we not only provided food for people who needed it, but we also supported some of our local restaurants that were suffering through COVID. As we all know, our restaurant staffs were having a really difficult time maintaining employment for people. We also purchased produce from the Riverdale Farmers Market, and we delivered to the College Park Meals on Wheels program so that they could have fresh produce to deliver to their clients, including a Thanksgiving food that supported a Thanksgiving meal that they were delivering. And we made 3 weekly deliveries to 45 Hyattsville seniors so that they had fresh produce from the market. This, again, not only helped provide food, but it also helped support the farmers who were coming to the Riversdale Farmers Market. We funded several area food pantries and blessing boxes that were sponsored by churches and Girl Scout troops. And we provided meals to some unhoused people who were being served through a local Hyattsville church. And then with the help of the HAP board and other HAP volunteers, we delivered care packages that contained food and treats to 93 seniors who were isolated at home in our neighborhood. So by the time we had expended all the grant money, we were confident that we had met a clear need in the Route 1 corridor to provide food for our seniors and others. And the program also resulted in some lasting relationships that were built with all the partners that I mentioned, and also across the villages in College Park and University Park that were involved in our program. So that's a very brief overview of what we did. I'd be happy to share more information, as Mary Jo said, through the chat. I'll put our email address in, hapcares@gmail.com. And if you have any questions that you want to send me through the chat, I'd be happy to respond. But again, thank you so much to WAVE and Mary Jo for this award.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. I think now you can see why everyone was so impressed by this effort. It was really magnificent. I mean, you know, when I hear a logistics program like that, I think of, you know, you could have taken Napoleon's army to Russia and got him back out again. You know, you're so well organized. So thank you very much. Applause to one of our winners. Okay, and drum roll. Let's see. So, and then let me get back to. They'll let me change the. Okay, and next. Little Falls Village in Bethesda, Maryland, won the award for a village with an operating budget of $25,000 and over for its project, COVID vaccine and booster clinics. And I'm very pleased to introduce Ann Humphrey, who's the chair of the Little Falls Village Board. And Anne, please also introduce your other team members and then tell us about your great project. You're on mute, Chris.
And you're on
Anne.
mute.
Anne, you're on mute.
Yep. Lisa Owen, our executive director, will be doing the talking. I can't see, I don't have, my screen is just of you, so I can't see everybody. I think Janet Moyers is on. I think Kathy Libby is on. Those are both board members. I think Steve Herman was going to be. I can't see everybody. But Lisa was intimately involved in this, as was Lisa Rosenthal, our previous executive director. So I'm going to turn this over to Lisa briefly. And thank you very much for this award. We are thrilled and honored. Lisa?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mary Jo. Thank you, Virginia, and everyone at WAVE for this recognition, and certainly for the work that you do every day, connecting villages, because that is so critical. My name is Lisa Owen, and I am the Executive Director of Little Falls Village. It is such an honor to accept the WAVE Founders Award on behalf of an exceptional team at Little Falls Village and within the community, our partners in the 20816, if you will, and for our collaborative work and our creative problem solving in the delivery of 5 successful COVID-19 vaccine and booster clinics in 2021. So Little Falls Village, we ran these COVID vaccination clinics in 2021, giving a total of over 1,000 shots to members, to volunteers, and to neighbors. In February of 2021, when vaccines first became available, our members faced substantial challenges accessing COVID-19 vaccination services. I think everyone here knows all too well what those challenges were. So just, seeing the frustrations of our members coupled with our own, we decided to not wait for a solution to appear. We approached Giant Pharmacy to explore the possibility of bringing pharmacists and vaccines to a location in the Little Falls Village community to hold a clinic that Little Falls Village would then be responsible for setting up, managing, and executing. We convinced Giant that this was a win-win proposition. Giant, after all, had the vaccines, but was limited in bringing together large numbers of eligible people, while Little Falls Village, we have both the people and the community resources to make sure that this happens. So with just 10 days to prepare, Little Falls Village was able to organize and hold our first vaccine clinic on February 19th, providing vaccines to 196 village members, volunteers, and community members. And I really want you to think back to that date, February 19th, 2021. That was an interesting time, and really Little Falls Village was a port in the storm for our community. The fun part right now is to talk about the we. Thank you, Anne, for introducing the board members that are here today. There are several others as well, but Lisa Rosenthal couldn't be here today. She is the former executive director of Little Falls Village and played such an instrumental role in the success of these clinics. So, thank you, Lisa. But this was a true example of community partnership. Giant Pharmacy, they brought the vaccines and the pharmacists. Sumner Village was the location that we chose to set up these clinics. And Sumner Village is a naturally occurring retirement community. Many of us have naturally occurring retirement communities in our communities and could therefore, utilize that title to then become a partner in community health like we did. Little Falls Village organized an army of volunteers who came from our local community associations. So we have every neighborhood association we are linked to.
Where are you going?
That is
Bank?
a means
Oh,
for
that's
us.
right. Okay, good luck.
Lisa,
Lisa, now you're
Got
on
muted there. Someone's being
Lisa-
loud in the background.
The Glen
would everyone else please mute yourself, or Jonas, maybe you could?
Are we good? Let me know.
Yes.
You're very good. You're very, very good.
Okay, so Sumner Village. Again, we have to give thanks to the Glen Echo Volunteer Fire Department, who sent Lieutenant Victor Graves to watch over us to make sure that those who'd gotten the shots didn't have a bad reaction. The Friends of Little Falls Village, staffed the clinic waiting room with refreshments for both volunteers and for clients. And the sweetest example, and I did remark in the nomination, is that we had a Walt Whitman high school senior who played classical music to kind of ease everyone's tension, because remember February 19th, 2021, we were all scared. And he played classical music for all of those that were getting vaccinated, including his grandparents. And that just touches my heart. Anyway, so I'd like to say that by offering these small local clinics in a community populated by many seniors who would otherwise have had to have driven long distances or risked exposure, we did a wonderful public service by easing the burden on our hospitals and our clinics. So we provided a service that was so needed. And this collaboration focused on the needs of our senior population was seen by local, state, and federal officials. They took notice of the work of villages and how villages are willing to be guardians and to be active partners in community health. Like when I told people about what we're doing, if you want to reach an 8-year-old boy or girl who is civic minded and you have an initiative that you need to do right away, you're going to call the Boy Scouts, you're going to call the Girl Scouts, okay? If you have an initiative that you want to do with seniors, it has to roll off the tongue of people who are in place to create policy that they need to work with villages. So I'm just so pleased that I could represent such a phenomenal team. I am pleased to report that Giant Pharmacy is willing and able to work with any village and waive any fees to set up a community clinic, because they know that we can deliver the people and we know we have the volunteer corps to manage it. So I thank you once again for the recognition. I have to jump off because we are having our 6th booster clinic. We're having our, second booster clinic, 6th clinic tomorrow for over 200 people. And anyway, I look forward to the plenary, Mary Jo, and to answer the detailed questions when you have them. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much to Lisa and all of her Great Falls team. I think that's really, really wonderful. Well, now we actually have one more very special award to announce today. I'll bet many of you who are online have participated in Zoom programs put on by other villages during COVID. You or your village probably used a new shared calendar that was created during the lockdown. So now let me get my cursor back there. Where'd you go? So WAVE created a special appreciation award for Silver Spring Village for creating and managing the website for it is formally called Washington Area Village Shared Events, better known as dmvvillageevents.org. This website transformed the way in which villages across the region share programming resources. It's been a collaborative effort, and over 350 educational and cultural events that were virtual and open to everyone were posted. Is Doug Gaddis online? I'd like Doug, if we can find Doug and spotlight him and say, he's the executive director of Silver Spring Village, and he was really the energizer bunny behind it all, together with 2 wonderful volunteers. Thank you, Doug. Are you there?
I am here, Mary Jo.
Okay, Jonas, can we find him? Where are you? There you are. Yay!
I'm hiding in the corner.
Yay, Doug. Are your volunteers online? Tell them quickly about your 2 volunteers.
Sure. So creating this this shared event calendar was something that honestly I thought initially would be really easy because the first parts of the technology came very easily to me, and then I hit a wall and turned to 2 of our wonderful Silver Spring volunteers who are also members. Bill Hull, who is a tech wizard and was able to take everything that I could do and translate that through the magic of HTML and whatever else to make the site functional, and Claire Macklin, who just gave hundreds of hours through the last year and a half, keeping track of all the submissions, checking with people, double checking things, and making sure that those got listed. So I hope it's been a useful thing for all of our village members, and I really look forward to continuing to be able to find these sorts of creative, collaborative opportunities.
Well, and Doug is also looking forward to the moment at which WAVE will finally have its new website, which is going to have the shared calendar function. And any village can nominate a representative who we will give permission to directly access that calendar and post events. So it will take a lot of the burden off Silver Spring, we hope, but stay tuned because it will take a little bit of training, but we're looking forward to that. So thank you again, Doug. Well, I want to finish by saying summaries of all of the winners projects and information about all the other nominated projects is going to be posted on our website momentarily. The winners will be presenting at our July 18th meeting, as I've mentioned, and we hope that these important lessons could be applied by other villages, hopefully not in a COVID situation again, but in some different context, pulling on the various principles and lessons that, that these projects have shown. We also hope to have Zoom discussion sessions for many of the other nominated projects that could be useful and that I think other villages would want to know about and replicate. So, and I think that you will all agree that all these projects are great examples of villages at work in their communities. They really are.